Welcome back to the F1 My Team Career Mode. It's that time again. For the first time this year, on this year's game, we have Monaco. And I've not driven this for a long time because we removed it for our shortened season in the brief McLaren driver career we did towards the end of the F1 22 cycle. So this is going to be fun. Thankfully, it's fully dry throughout, so we should be okay. We're going to wait and save those resource points because there's nothing we can put on at the moment. We, of course, had a fantastic result in Imola last time out, but we don't expect to replicate that here in Monaco. And then for Spain, we'll be upping it from 88 to 89 difficulty to see if we find another level that we can actually aspire to get to while still maintaining decent results. I'll continually try and improve and upgrade the difficulty as much as I can whilst maintaining realistic results, because obviously it'd be great to race as high as I possibly can and test myself to the absolute max. We used to race 100 on 21 and before, but last year was a lot more difficult, and this year it seems similarly. So Monaco's always an unknown. We'll see what happens. Sometimes I can go 50 laps, not even need a flashback. Sometimes I need about 50 front wings. So we shall just have to wait and see what happens. But hopefully you'll enjoy. Those of you that enjoy the Southampton save, that is on its way back. Should be uploading the first episode back of the Southampton save on Sunday. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop this video a like, and hopefully we can not embarrass ourselves at Monaco. Come and join me on stream as well and watch all the behind the scenes. It'd be great to have you over on Twitch. Link in the description down below. So after practice, I've done extensive running for me at practice. Normally just do the practice programs and get out. We actually used almost the entirety of the first practice session just running, trying to figure out how best to handle the car, how best to set up the car here for Monaco. I feel more comfortable at Monaco here on this game than I have done, as far as I can recall, really anywhere on any other game previously at Monaco. I don't feel like I've got pace, but I'm comfortable in the car, and I think that's more preferable than having some pace but being uncomfortable in the car, meaning that I can't be consistent enough with my pace to actually do anything with it. So I'm not expecting to qualify well, I'm not expecting to race well, but at least I might actually enjoy Monaco a little bit here. I'll put an older MGUH in there actually. We'll still run that energy store. I'll run a slightly newer turbo. That's fine. And gearbox wise, we'll put that one in as well. Okay, well, when it comes to minimalising flashbacks and being comfortable in the car and having fun, I think we'll be alright here at Monaco. But I don't know if I'll be competitive or not. And qualifying might give us a bit of an indication of that. So here we go. We'll nail it as quickly as we can to the line, and we do a 1:13.5, which is actually not bad. Huh? Oh, scrappy as well. There's maybe 2/10 in that. There's maybe 2/10. I might be able to pull out a 13.3 perhaps. Purple middle sector. I'm upping the difficulty. Ah, piss. There goes the front wing. It's going to cost me time to the line, but 13.2 something? 13.2 something second. Do I have to up the difficulty at Monaco? This is new territory. Now's when we'll make up time on the Delta because we got held up on the previous lap. Fuck. Fuck. Such is life at Monaco. We qualify in Q2 P12. A 12th place start in Monaco is absolutely fantastic. I am delighted with that. I will up the difficulty to 89, I think. So that I made mistakes in that lap as well. So we know, however, that the first 8 cars are significantly faster than us. We also know from the performance index that the next, arguably 10 cars are basically as fast as each other. So P12 is about where we should be, I think. I will up it to 89, but I anticipate a massive jump in just that one from 89 at the top end of Expert into 90, the bottom end of Legendary. I really think that's going to be too much of a jump for me at the moment. We'll see what 89 is like in Monaco. We'll see what 89 is like in Spain. And then we'll take it from there when we move forward. But right now, starting P12 at Monaco is not a bad place to be whatsoever. Turns out, I don't suck at Monaco this year. Oh, it's Master. Master at 1994. Legend is 95 to 100. And Ultimate is 101 to 110. We'll up it to 89. Well, what happened in Q3 then? Fully dry, of course, so no weather to be thrown into the mix, but we're going to get any penalties. No Red Bulls on the front row at all. George Russell, pole position. Sainz, 2/10 back, a 112 flat from George. Just shows how much farther we have to go before we're challenging those front runners. I'm not even close to a 12, let alone a 12 flat. Bloody hell. Ocon and Perez with a penalty, but not pushing in behind me. I am 12th. Hamilton out in P11. I hadn't noticed that at the time. Lewis Hamilton starts right in front of us. No other penalties, I don't think. Iwasa retired in Q1. So, or was it? Must have been practice. No, I'm sure it was Q1. Iwasa retired at some point. Regardless, we're starting P12, and now let's find out what everyone else's strategy is going to be. I imagine hards and mediums, and yes, that is the case. I'd be tempted to run hards with those on softs behind, but I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go hard medium then. Bollocks to it. I mean, that I've made about 17 different decisions in there. I'm gonna go hard medium. 78 laps of one of the most difficult races on Earth is about to begin. Stopped bang on the yellow line. I say one of, it's obviously not the most difficult race on planet Earth. I'm sure the Paris-Dakar Rally would have something to say about that, etc, etc. But it's one of the most difficult races on Earth. Monaco in a Formula 1 car is pretty mental, and we're about to find out just how mental in a few moments' time. And we're away, and it's a lightning start. A very, 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 very good start. We jumped Hamilton and Perez right at the beginning. My hard tyres were up to temperature thanks to the formation lap, whereas those around me were perhaps slightly under optimal temperature-wise, and their tyres weren't fired up as well. Well, that's a dream start. We're actually into the points at Monaco already. We did up the difficulty to 89 for this, so we'll just have to wait and see how it unfolds from here, but that was a dream start. They're on soft tyres as well, so I'm surprised they weren't up to temperature. But my God, we leapt off the line there. Now everyone in front of me is hard or medium. Everyone in front of me is hard or medium. The majority hard, I think. But we are currently ruining Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez's race. And Lance Stroll has actually got Sergio Perez as well. Lewis is itching all over me. He's in a much faster car on a much faster tyre. The difference in our capabilities right now are astronomical. At the minute, we're going to have to work very hard, but we should be able to hopefully keep him behind for a while. We're actually gapping Lance Stroll right now. Tell from the minimap that Bottas is currently holding Esteban Ocon up. But we are not.
Come on, we need to get past.
Holding Lance Stroll up in P12. We are pulling a gap on Lance Stroll. Where's the detection point? It's just after the second swimming pool chicane. Okay. Just trying to gauge where I need to be within a second of Esteban to actually stand a chance of getting DRS to defend from Lewis. My front right has got more wear because I've touched the wall with it. That's a new feature this year. So my front right tyre is on 11% wear, whereas my other tyres are on 7. It's because at some point I've nudged the wall with my right tyre and damaged it a little bit. We may run the risk of a puncture with that right tyre. We might be okay. We know that the medium tyre that we're planning on going on to can do 46 laps. So we're going to have to try and get this hard tyre to at least, and that's 46 laps at the very end of its life, so I could probably only get about 35 out of it. We're going to have to probably get to at least half race distance here with this hard set. Please tell me, yes, we're going to get DRS. I think I was just under the second as we went through the detection point. Oh, I don't have DRS, bollocks. I was so close. I was so close. Absolutely nailed the third sector.
Keep pushing. You're gaining on the car
I
ahead.
just can't quite get close enough to Esteban Ocon at the minute to get DRS. But you can see again, we are gapping Lance Stroll. So Lance on those soft tyres is falling back. Sergio Perez still stuck behind him, just as Lewis Hamilton is still stuck behind me after 8 laps. Or 7 and a bit laps. Everything's going according to plan so far. Surely we get DRS now. Surely I'm within, yeah, I'm definitely within DRS range. For the first time, as we head from lap 9 on to lap 10, yeah, well, he's got DRS. Yahoo! Lewis is still glued to me, just as I'm glued to Esteban, just as Esteban is glued to Valtteri. Bottas is the cork in the bottle at the minute, but I don't know as I'd actually get past Valtteri if Esteban wasn't there. I think I'd probably just be trailing Esteban the same way, sorry, trailing Bottas the same way I'm trailing Esteban. Let's use a lot of battery now as well. Back within DRS range. I'm going to fight very hard here just to stick with. It's a real grind this, but it's Monaco, so it's what you expect. Stroll now 2.5 seconds back in P12, so
The car behind
he's just
is
not
back
competing
by
well
about
at all at the
3/10
minute.
of that. Well done.
I don't know whether he's got damage. Maybe that's why he's not as competitive on those soft tyres as you'd expect that Aston Martin to be at this stage of the race. They are the 4th best team, of course. We're right with Alpine and Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri and Williams and McLaren. We're all basically, on any given race weekend, just a good performance away from being in the points. If someone in one of those 7 teams has a good race weekend, then they can get themselves points. There isn't really one car that you'd say is just definitely slower than the rest. He was AlphaTauri, but not anymore. Esteban's starting to struggle with traction coming round to back at the minute. Don't know whether that's a prolonged thing or he's just going through some graining, but he's struggling a little bit with his rears now. Not that mine are amazing at 23% worn, 25% on the front right from that scrape earlier on. 25% wear after 18 laps is still very, very, very manageable at the minute. Still aiming for like a P12 maybe, where we basically to finish where we qualified. I think that'd still be a very good result for us actually. We are going to be within DRS range of Esteban Ocon now, but he's within, annoyingly, back within a second of Valtteri Bottas as well. So he's got DRS too. Every time we get back within DRS, he does the same. Nearly 3 seconds back to Lance Stroll now.
Right, we think the car behind might start to have fuel management issues. Let's see if we can use this to our advantage over the next few laps.
Yeah, sorry, not happening. It's Lewis in a Mercedes. We're not there yet. Give it another season and a half, maybe. By the end of season 2, we might think about challenging for podiums regularly. Or relatively regularly. Oh, I've gone deep. I've hit the wall, but I've gotten away without damage, but that means Lewis has now got me.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
Well, now we see what Lewis is all about. It's cost me a points position at the minute. Well, that's the first big mistake we've made, really. It's the first real sniff Lewis has had of getting past me. And he didn't hesitate. Through he went straight away. And we're no further behind Lewis at the minute than we were Ocon. And Lewis is dipping. Lewis is pitting. So on lap 23, the soft runner is in. Alonso's pit as well from in front. And he was on mediums. It's a very early stop for Fernando Alonso. Off those mediums, presumably to go to hards. We're up into the points again. That's P9 for us now. It's a very short run. They're obviously going for track position later in the Grand Prix. Trying to undercut with fresh tyres. It's not a bad decision, to be fair, from Fernando Alonso, but I'm not good enough on my tyres to make such a call at the minute. I'm going to need to get to probably lap 37 or 8 before I can contemplate pitting off these hard tyres, but it has moved us back up. Currently wants me to stop on lap 46, but I would like to undercut a little bit if I can. Just to have some fresher tyres on. The hard runners in front. You never know, we might be able to get track position on Valtteri. Lewis has come out right behind an AlphaTauri. Lewis is currently P21.
Gap to your teammate behind is 0.8 seconds.
And that stop has not done him any favours whatsoever. Because now he's just stuck behind a different car rather than me. I think he's going for it into turn 1 if you look at the mini-map. He might just have such fresh tyres, and he has indeed gotten the AlphaTauri into turn 1 and up the hill. He is ahead, so fair play for Lewis. Changing tyres, putting a fresh set on and using them right from the off. It's not easy to overtake at Monaco, as you've seen, as you very well know, I'm sure. But new tyres are huge in the game this year and in real life. And Lewis is using that to his advantage. Up next for him is my teammate, who hopefully can hold him up a little bit if possible. Still just about holding on to Esteban and Valtteri, but that's been the case for the whole race. At no point have I really had enough pace where I'd consider trying to make an overtake. I'm quite simply just hanging on at the moment. Sergio Perez and Alonso behind now as Lance Stroll also pit from his soft tyres. He is stuck behind the AlphaTauri now as well, as I noticed Lewis has taken my teammate Iwasa and is now behind the other Alfa Romeo, I believe, of Zhou Guanyu, and might be looking to do a move into turn 1 again, and has again pulled off a great move into turn 1. So Lewis Hamilton is making moves. That's 3 overtakes for Lewis so far since his pit stop. He's flying in that other Mercedes. George Russell's still leading the way though, I think. Oh no, is he not? No, the Ferraris are leading the way. Has George pit then? Because George was P1. George has pit from hards onto mediums very early indeed. Same as Fernando Alonso. So I imagine they're going to try and take those mediums to the end, but they will be so slow. Alonso's taken Perez. And he's now creeping. Not only... Actually, Alonso pit, didn't he? It's only just occurred to me. So Alonso's got fresh tyres. We're seeing firsthand the fresh tyre effect now. Alonso's going to have a look around the outside. And he's going to get the move done. Fair play, Fernando. Fresh tyre effect in full display there. And the Aston Martin is through. Oh. A little bit unsighted there behind him. He'll touch the wall now. Sergio Perez is interested. We'll get back into the flow of things. At 28, so we are now just over a third race distance. So Valtteri Bottas going hard medium. Taking those hards off at the end of lap 28. Whereas we're wanting to go an extra 10 laps on these hard tyres before thinking about taking them off. It's a big call to go this long before changing tyre and then trying to just hold track position. But hopefully it works out for us. He says, expecting it to not really do that. Ocon is effectively set free now, with no Bottas in front of him holding him up. But he is significantly under pressure from Fernando Alonso right now. Monaco is more likely to be moving backwards than he is forwards anytime soon. Equally, me. Sergio Perez is sniffing all over me at the moment, and I'm squirming everywhere with a real lack of not downforce, just a lack of grip. Weirdly, since doing the mid-session save restart, it bugs my pit window, and now it's telling me to pit every lap. My pit window is lap 14 to 58. It definitely isn't. It's lap 46 to 58. So slow around Raskas now. George Russell in the pits. George Russell coming out of the pits. Pitting for a second time, George? Surely for damage then. That must be for damage. Yeah, George Russell with a new front wing. So he's gone hard to... Where was he? Where are you, George? He's gone hard to medium, and now medium to medium. So he's still going to make it to the end of the race on that set of tyres. But unfortunately for him, he's now lost about 7 or 8 positions. He's going to go from the lead of the Grand Prix down to about P7 or 8, which is costly to say the least at Monaco. Very much so. Tell you what, George, that is a hell of a move. Like slightly wide into Casino Square. So it's the same thing that let Lewis through earlier, who inherently is now, of course, right behind me. Having pit and now working his way back through. That's how good new tyres are. Lewis was able to pit from his softs and work his way all the way back to me and save that pit stop time just with his fresh set of tyres. Oh, literally getting pushed along by Lewis there. Just drove straight into the back of me and has cost himself his front wing by doing so. Well, that was silly, wasn't it, Lewis? I'm going to need a front wing change as well myself when we pit in a little while, so we'll set front wing position to yes. Currently come out 21st when we pit. Lovely. That perhaps makes a bit more sense as to why I've been struggling a little bit more the past couple of laps, and I've got that little bit of front wing damage. But we'll change that in the stop. Put fresh mediums on and go again. Alonso's in the pits again. Alonso might be two-stopping. Well, he is two-stopping, but I'm not sure whether it's enforced through damage or a genuine stop for tyres. I imagine it is an enforced stop because I'm sure he wouldn't have. Yeah, Fernando Alonso pits for front wing. Nico Hülkenberg has done the same as well at some point. A couple of laps before Lewis went and rammed me in the backside. So we're stopping next lap. As it stands, next lap. Fuck. Right, fuck it, I'm stopping this lap.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, the entire front wing gone as I'm trying to get into the pits. Oh, sweet Lord Jesus. Well, we know we're definitely going to get a front wing change then. Oh, God, this is intense. Monaco is easier on this game, for sure. But the levels of concentration still have to be astronomically high. It's not a bad stop, to be fair, 7.6 seconds. We're going to come out.
All right, we'll be doing one more stop today.
Oh, hopefully in front of our teammate, please. Get me up the hill, 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 get me up the hill. Battery. Oh, that's huge. To have made it out in front of Iwasa is massive. It wasn't planned to get me out in this gap of space, but my God, has that worked brilliantly. All thanks to a very swift pit stop from the team. 0.1 of a second longer, changing that front wing, and we'd have been out behind Iwasa and Albon and the other car that's behind him as well. In fact, there's a whole train of them. Iwasa is holding up a number of drivers here. We now have fresh tyres on to go to the end. And it's time to build that gap behind and maybe close the gap on Stroll. I don't know what the difference is going to be like between our lap times at the minute.
Stroll ahead, and gap to the car in front is 2.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. They've done 21 laps on those tyres, and the time last lap was a 1:16.9.
He's done so much.
Okay, gap ahead is 1.6 seconds.
Done so much distance on those tyres already, and you can visibly see just how much faster we are on fresh rubber, how much more accurate we can be through the corners, how much easier we put the power down, and how quickly we're closing him up. 1.2 seconds now. Alonso is stuck in P11, further down the road, behind two other drivers. Either Valtteri Bottas or Zhou Guanyu. And Piastri, I believe it is. So, if we can close in on that trio,
So your teammate behind is 11.8
and not
seconds.
make minimal mistakes, there is maybe some points in this for us. Right, I'm going. He's gone defensive. Try it around the outside.
Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us.
What?
Now look, I've put a new strategy option
What?
for you in the MFD, so go and have a look.
What? 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 What are you talking about? Oh, I damaged my front left tyre. I must have caught the wall somewhere, and my wing is fine, but my front left tyre is at 26%. Bollocks. Well, we do have new sets to go to, so it's a case then of trying to build a pit stop gap and then pitting again. At the minute, I've got enough life left in the rest of the tyres and that front left
The car in front is 3.2 seconds.
to be able to build that gap, but I'm going to have to try and get past Alonso, Bottas and Piastri. I'm not sure how much a pit stop costs you here at Monaco, but if I am to pit, I want to come out ahead of Alex Albon again, that's for sure. Piastri and Bottas are both holding Alonso up here. I'm pretty sure it's mainly Piastri that is the issue at the minute.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 25.4 seconds.
If I pit, reckons I'll come out 14th, which is where Alex Albon is now, so I'll actually come out behind Alex Albon. I might be able to nurse that front left to the end of the race, but I'm not sure about it. If I do have to pit again, we can probably say goodbye to... We can probably say goodbye to points. But if I can somehow manage to get past at least two of these three in front, we might be able to get some points. I'm really going to have to nurse that front left now, if we are to do it. Piastri pitting. Well, that saved us some hassle. We're up to P11. Now I only need to overtake one of them. Oh, hello, Pierre. We're up to P10. We're in the points. Pierre Gasly's pit. He's on hard tyres. Time very much. Points again, then. This has been less flashbacky and less bouncy off the wallsy than regularly at Monaco. But it's still been really tough and particularly difficult. But I do very much enjoy driving Monaco a lot more on this game than I have on any other F1 game so far. And I bet if it wasn't fucking 30 plus degrees in the office, I might have made less mistakes as well.
Yumu is in the pits now.
Bottas keeps going defensive on Alonso. I don't know whether Valtteri still needs to pit. I don't think so. No, he can't. Valtteri started on hard, same as us, didn't he? So Bottas is just slow. Oh, he pit early, didn't he? He and Stroll both pit early. No, he didn't. Oh, I can't remember. He and someone pit early, I'm sure. Off their hards to go to mediums. I can't remember who it was. There's so much happened in this Grand Prix so far. On that 52 of 78. I'll come out 14th if I pit still to try and replace that damaged front left. The minute it's still at 29%, so we're alright. It's holding. So we shouldn't have to pit again. We should then, hopefully, finish at least 9th. There may even be a 7th or 8th on the cards here if we can somehow manage to get past. Please, Fernando. If you get him, I'll get him.
Back by about 3/10 a lap. Well done.
I can't take both of you. He's trying, Fernando, but Valtteri just keeps going defensive. It's a hell of a battle right now between the three of us. This is really intense. Every time I think about going for Alonso into that right-hander down the hill, Alonso thinks about going for Valtteri, and they both move into a position where I'd ideally like to try and position my car to go for the overtake. This is pretty intense at the minute with 25 laps to go. We are 2/3 of the way through the race, 1/3 to go. Oh my god, Bottas has gone deep. It's cost him 2 positions. I had no idea what was going on there, and I panicked a little bit, but we've been able to get through. Valtteri Bottas costs himself 2 positions. Now, I'm expecting Alonso to be faster than me here, so he'll probably just get away now, but... Oh, let's have a... Oh, I just missed it, unfortunately. Bottas just deep, locked up, and then couldn't quite get it done to make the corner and save his positions. We're up to P7. No, P8 and P7 in Fernando Alonso now in front of me. Oh, God. I'm hot. I'm tired. I'm worn out. Physically and mentally. This is tough. The leaders are catching us, though. If you look at the minimap, you see that the Ferrari and the Red Bull not that far behind now. Just coming through the tunnel. So we will more than likely get lapped before the end of this race. For the first time in our career, ordinarily at any other circuit, I'd be devastated at that. The fact that we've been able to go this far without getting lapped and still might end up actually getting lapped. But let's be honest, at Monaco, I'd rather it ends a lap sooner. So come and get me, please. Is that Red Bull back there for position? It is. Sergio Perez, I thought, was coming through. He's not. So it's actually just the 2 Ferrari that are coming through to lap. Sainz leading Leclerc as it stands right now. And I say the 2 Ferrari.
We need to reduce the 5-second gap to the car ahead.
It's just the 1 Ferrari. Leclerc in second is a long way behind Carlos Sainz. So Sainz is catching to lap those behind. I'm hoping by lap 75 or 6 that we might have opened up a pit stop's worth of time to those behind. If they have to let the front runner through and I don't, I might be able to pit for a set of softs and go for a fastest lap attempt, which would be phenomenal and a nice way to end what has been a grueling as ever Monaco Grand Prix. But regardless, to finish P7 here, provided we don't have any failures of course in the meantime, is a fantastic achievement. I am delighted. We will up the difficulty to... I don't know whether to do it for Spain or not, to be honest. I think I will. I think we'll up it to 90 for Spain. And we'll see how we do. At the minute, we have 15 laps to go. Provided we don't get lapped.
Teammate by 51.3 seconds.
myself and Fernando at the minute, just kind of lapping in no man's land, as is Fernando Alonso in 5th. Not Fernando Alonso. Lando Norris in 5th. Actually, Lando's working his way through a lot of traffic now. He was in no man's land. He's not anymore. I think as soon as Sainz gets past the 2 Williams and Stroll, sorry, the 2 Alpine and Stroll, I'm in for a stop. At the minute, it's an if Sainz gets as far as the Alpines and the Strolls. Alpines and the Strolls. Alpines and Stroll. I guess technically that could be correct. Because at the minute, he's not pulling away from Perez or Norris. Why is he not closing in on the 3 in front? 19.8 seconds at the minute to Lance Stroll, and I need that to be 21 really for me to be happy to pit. I'm going to stop next lap for a set of soft tyres, and we're going to go for a fastest lap attempt. Actually, I might have to stop this lap to ensure that I can clear Bottas first.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
Pitting for a soft set of tyres to try and go for a fastest lap attempt, hoping to come out in front of Stroll. I don't think we'll come out in front of Bottas, but provided the team are quick, we can get in and out.
Okay, there seems to have been a problem attaching the right rear wheel.
That was the risk.
Put that behind us, and let's finish this race strong. Pit strategy complete. See these
There's
tyres through to
Valtteri.
the end now.
Battery, 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 battery. We've come out ahead of Valtteri. Right, fastest lap attempt time. Oh, now this will be fun to end the race. 4 or 5 laps, probably 5 actually, because Sainz has shown no intention and no sign of actually getting past either of the Alpines and Lance Stroll, so we will do the full 78 laps. Not only that, we will have the opportunity to do a fastest lap in the meantime as well, and we can enjoy these last few laps after the chaos and frustration and heat and grind of Monaco. Let's have some fun right at the death. Purple sector 2. It's a good sign. Yellow flags. Oh, not George Russell again! Another retirement for the Mercedes. That's at least 2 in a row, if not 3. George DNFing again. Mechanical failure, lap 75. George is out. Unbelievable. Just on the right-hander into the tunnel. George Russell is out, and again, we're going to gain an extra position in the Grand Prix thanks to George Russell DNFing.
Okay, car behind trailing us, 7.7 seconds.
That is the difference of fresh tyres. Bottas has done however many on his worn mediums. We've put on fresh softs. In the space of 2 laps, we've extended an 8.5 second gap.
Bottas is behind you. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 8.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, their tyres are more than 30 laps old. The last lap time was a 1:17.8.
No surprise. We're as fast as we are. More than 30 laps old on Valtteri Bottas's car. Fresh set on us. He came out the pits right in front of him, and he's now 10 seconds plus behind us.
With 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left.
We pit from just behind this lot, and in the space of 7 laps, we've gained an entire pit stop's worth of time.
Okay, you just
Another fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap. Well, maybe I could have done an extra pit stop, as in my usual race strategy. But as it happens, and just been a little bit more comfortable with my tyres throughout the course of the whole Grand Prix. But as it happens, we're going to maximise our positional finish anyway. We will up the difficulty to 90 for Spain next time out. And, well, these guys don't have to get out of the way, but... Well, they do have to get out of the way, but ultimately they don't really have to get out of the way, if you know what I mean. It's not going to change the race order or how things look in the championship for any of them.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3
We
more
might
laps.
as well lap some people for what is only the second time, I think, that we've actually lapped anyone in this save so far. Hulkenberg hopefully doesn't try and let me past in the swimming pool section like he did in quali. He's not doing. He's going to let me pass into Raskas, is he? Maybe. I'm going to force my way through him at Raskas anyway. And we're up. I was going to say we're up a position. Well, thanks for the DRS. Joe's going to let me through. Don't cost yourself a position right at the death bell. It's a P6 in Monaco, which, as ever, is particularly hard fought and relatively well earned. Again, up a position from George Russell's DNF for the second race in a row. Our second fastest lap of the season and second fastest lap in 3 races, as we've had the opportunity to take advantage of scenarios, gaps or safety cars, etc. and strategy. 13.4, our fastest lap of the race at the end. 12th to 6th is a wonderful race. There was only the 2 DNFs, wasn't there? Or just George. Just George was the only DNF. So I'll take that. I'll take that very much indeed. Sainz through second to the win. Max, basically the top 3 only went up 1 because of George's DNF. Lando's done well, Fernando's done well, and Lewis just knackered himself, unfortunately, and got stuck behind everybody and finished P16, a terrible result for Lewis Hamilton. We have bossed that rivalry breakdown. Sorry, Nick, but that was never going to be very close at all, was it? One more race remaining on that, and then we'll finish it. Plus 1,000 driver acclaim, loads of team acclaim as well, and, well, probably not going to get much money from me breaking however many front wings I did throughout the course of the Grand Prix. 50k deduction from both of us, but we do get both of our bonuses, or at least one of our 2 bonuses, one of our 3 actually, with the new constructor. Actually, I still need to put the livery. I still need to put the extra thingies on the car. Simulator training, driver promotion, chassis team building, or sponsor event. Let's go chassis team building. I do still need to update the livery, but we can do that in due course. So, 7th of June. Nothing's gonna pass before the Spanish Grand Prix, but thinking of the Spanish Grand Prix, I don't really. What's after Spain? It's Canada, isn't it? So ideally, I'm going to want power and ERS. Fuel efficiency actually will come in very handy in Canada because it is quite a fuel-heavy circuit. 41%. Ah, bollocks! It's not going to. Well, Austria is pretty flat out as well, but it was cheap, so we might as well take advantage of the 40% discount. Drag reduction. I'll do that, and that hopefully will get done in time for at least Austria, which it should, provided that then passes. And I don't yet have the capability to put anything else on the car at this stage, nor do I have really enough money to do anything with any of my other departments. So we will maybe do something with driver perk. Engine wear down by 10%. I need to be driver level 8 to get resource points boosted by 25%. We're so close to driver level 8. Maybe I could do that with the activity here. If I remove that activity and go driver promotion filming, will that get me? Will that get me to level 8? Will it? If it is, it's a hell of a bit of fortune. It hasn't quite got me to level 8, so I still can't do it anyway. Not to worry. Well, I'll go and do the autocross and drift thing, the hot lap, off camera. But that will bring us to a close for this particular Grand Prix weekend. We will up the difficulty for the next race to 90 and go into the next level. We'll go from expert into master, and at Spain, it's probably quite a challenge as well, considering the AI are always really strong at Spain. Might be a bit of a mistake, but who cares? We've had 3 points finishes in a row, and we might as well up the difficulty a little bit and try and challenge ourselves a bit more, shan't we? Drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more. There will be, of course, some Southampton Carimo coming to you over the next couple of days. But for now, I'll see you tomorrow for the Spanish Grand Prix. Ta-ta.